She's down under, but she's on top of the world, and she won't stop. Flying free, no looking back, turning every crack into a map. Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Likha Love. How are you today? What have you done today to take care of yourself? Have you eaten anything? Anything nutritious? Anything that is good for your body? Have you drank your water? Have you practiced gratitude? What are you thankful for today? Are you thankful that you have another day to make decisions? To decide if you're going to have a good day today? Are you thankful for your children? The fact that you get to have these souls that emit unconditional love for you. Children are just so pure. Their love for their parents are just so pure. You know, it doesn't matter what you do or what you say. You make mistakes all the time, but at the end of the day, they still love you. Isn't that just so beautiful? My search for love as an adult, even as a teenager, I was always looking for a man to love me, right? When really the most purest love that you can ever get is from your little children. And I'm just so grateful that I have two beautiful girls that just love me so unconditionally. And I love them so unconditionally. I'm so thankful that I get to change dirty diapers, because that means I have a little baby. I'm so grateful that I get to wipe her snotty nose, because that means I have a little baby. You know, it's all in perspective. What is it that we are grateful for today? I'm so grateful that I have legs that are working. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that I can still do a cartwheel. Now I have to do work like stretches every day to make sure that I have mobility. I have to make sure that I have my regular exercise so I'm not physically hurting. I got to do my hip exercises so I'm not paying for it later when I'm stiff. Movement is so important for our health. What else is something that you can be grateful for today? Are you grateful that you have a roof over your head? I know I am. It was rainy all last night. I'm glad that I had somewhere to lay my head out of the rain. I really hope that you are taking care of yourself and that you are not expecting someone else to take care of you, because only you know what you need and nobody else can make sure that you are healthy. Only you can. How's your mental health? What are you choosing today to make sure that you are mentally okay? Are you choosing healthy boundaries? Are you choosing to say no to the things that just totally strip your energy? Are you choosing a good mental state of mind? Choosing to control your thoughts instead of controlling others? Because the only person that you can control is yourself. Your perspective is everything. You know, as a survivor of abuse, I can continue to think about all the things that happened to me and all the unfair situations and unfair treatment that I received through the years. I can continue to focus on that and just be miserable. Or I can choose to see a different perspective. Thank you, God, for the lessons. Thank you for teaching me that I am capable to be independent. I am capable to live on my own. Thank you, God, for teaching me that that person is not for me. Thank you, God, for showing me that I was wasting my time on someone that had zero respect for me. Thank you, God, for showing me that that is not the person for me. Thank you, God, for showing me that all the love I need comes from within me and comes from God Himself. I think about the story of Paul and Silas, who was beaten and jailed for casting an evil spirit out of a servant girl who was predicting the future. And the servant girl's owners were so mad that they cast that spirit out of her because they were making money off of her. Anyway, Paul and Silas, they got beaten and then they got jailed. But while they were in jail, they weren't sitting there behind the bars and being miserable and cursing God and just complaining. No, they weren't doing that. They were praying, they were praising God, they were singing hymns and songs, and everybody was just listening to it. Can you imagine the mood? How they just set the vibe when they were there. All the other prisoners, they were hearing the music coming out of their mouth. The jailers, the guards, they were there listening to it also. They just totally changed the mood while they were in jail. And a miraculous thing happened. There was an earthquake that shook the foundations of the prison. And all the prison doors flew open and everyone's chains came loose. The jailer, he woke up and he saw the prison doors were open and he thought the prisoners had escaped. Can you imagine the panic? He was so scared that he was about to kill himself. But Paul shouted, "Don't do it. Hey, we're all here." And the jailer, he was just so surprised. He was, if you were the jailer, you would be shocked too. Like, literally all the doors are open and nobody escaped. Nobody. They were all still there. Now that just completely changed his life. He couldn't believe it. He asked Paul and Silas, what can he do to be saved? He was just in such awe of the power of God. He was just in such awe of everything that happened that evening. He was worried for his life. If those prisoners escaped, he could have been killed. So he was ready to kill himself. But instead, he saw a miracle. He saw a miracle that day, and it changed his life. It changed his life completely, that it also changed his whole family. His whole family got saved and got baptized. Baptism is a symbolism of a changed life. You're washing away the old because you have become a new person. And that's what happened to the jailer that night. He saw a miracle happen. What he thought would have been the end of his life and the end of his house, the end of his family, ended up being a life-changing event that made him see God in a new light. Which Paul and Silas, they were released the next day. And they could have had the chance of, fleeing. But they did the right thing. Even though they were jailed for wrong accusations, they still didn't flee. They stayed there and they changed this jailer's life. Perspective is really everything. I was in deep thought this morning, first thing in the morning, and I had written something that I would like to share with you all. Can you imagine a world where we just accept the people from where they are at? Where we stop having these expectations of how someone should be, because if we were in their situation, that's what we would do. Those expectations are the silent killers of all relationships. Instead of getting mad and disappointed constantly because your needs are not met, maybe take a pause and see where that person is at. Why are they not where you think they should be? Why do you expect them to be a certain way at a certain point in their life? Why do you expect that they treat you differently? Why do you feel that it is your privilege to think that a certain someone should be acting a certain way around you? I think we really need to start asking the questions, why is that person the way they are? You see their potential, but why don't they see it themselves? Why aren't they treating you better should not be the question, but why am I constantly disappointing myself by having these expectations of someone else that I have zero control over? How can I change my perspective and meet them where they are at? One thing I have learned through pain and suffering in relationships is that I have to see and accept people for who they are at the time. Why did I think that they should be different? Why didn't I just see that they were not in my level and just leave them where they are at instead of fighting to get them to change? Why am I so hell-bent on making them change when the only person I can control is myself? How can I change my perspective on this person and situation? How can I change my reactions to their actions? Why can't I just walk away and focus my attention on how to care for my own needs? How can I give them the love they need and also put up the right boundaries that protect my own peace and well-being? How can I live in peace and harmony where everyone feels loved and seen without sacrificing myself? What a better world it would be if we quit the victim mentality and worked inwardly on ourselves instead of blaming others for not being who they should be for you. Maybe start asking, why am I trying to force this person in a box that they clearly don't fit in? When we think of toddlers who are still trying to understand literally everything happening around them, they know very little. When they are having a tantrum because they don't know why things are not going a certain way and they don't know how to control their big feelings and regulate their emotions, you cannot be angry at them for being that way. They need to be taught how to calm themselves down. They are just learning. They don't know what they don't know. Unfortunately, there are still a lot of us adults who are the same way. We don't know how to control our big feelings and tend to act on them the wrong way. But if you have always been in fight or flight mode and weren't taught how to differentiate these feelings from an old trauma response to actually being in a situation of danger, then you're going to react in a way that might be unnecessary. Your body doesn't know the difference, so you need to be patient with yourself or others who are unaware and still learning. This level of understanding not only will help you with your feelings and situations, but also the person who clearly needs the compassion and help. We either can help if they are receptive, or walk away and leave them where they are at to protect your own peace. Forcing your understanding on others will not help anyone if they are clearly not ready to accept. Everyone is on their own journey of healing and growth. We can only control ourselves, so maybe we need to put all that precious time and energy on our own personal growth. See each person from where they stand, love them wholly from where they are at, and give yourself all the love and respect you deserve. That is self-care. That is self-love. I hope that you are learning how to love yourself better every day. Because you deserve it. You deserve it. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Everybody deserves love and respect. You can't force it. You cannot force it out of anybody. So you must learn to give that love and respect to yourself. I love you. And I hope that you are learning to grow. I hope that you are learning to love yourself every day. You are important. You are here for a reason. And it's time for you to figure that out. Stop playing victim, because that doesn't help you. As an adult, we can't control what happened to us in the past. We cannot control what happened to us in our childhood. But we can 100% control ourselves right now. How we think, how we feel. We are 100% responsible for our reaction. We are 100% responsible for our day to day. How are we going to think today? Are we learning to regulate our emotions? What are our big feelings teaching us? Do we know how to calm ourselves down when these big feelings come? We are no longer toddlers. We know a lot more. Our past should be teaching us. It should be teaching us to better ourselves. What have you learned from your past? Everything that has happened to you should be a lesson to better yourself. We have to get out of that victim mentality and start learning and growing so we can become better people. You know, in order to see the change in the world, we have to change ourselves first. Stop trying to change people around us. Stop trying to change situations around us that we have zero control over. Let's do better, guys. Let's be better. And to be better, we have to learn to first change what's inside of us. Change your perspective. Love yourself. I love you guys. Hope you have a magical day. Thanks for listening. Bye.